The build-up has been absolutely immense. It's been a huge pleasure to be part of this, and we've got the big final to come. I think the gates are open behind us. I'm not sure whether we're going to get time to talk to any drivers. Joey Foster looks extremely focused down there in the 277 car. He's having a quick natter. Niall Murray, we had a quick word with. Let's go to see if we can grab a quick Joey moment. No, he's starting the car now, so we probably won't be able to hear him anyway. That's okay. Joey, very quick word. How are the nerves?
It's festival final, so obviously it's really it's what it takes all. So we'll do all we can to stay in front.
We wish you well with it, mate.
Thank you. Cheers.
Hopefully see you on the podium, Joe Foster. Double former champion, of course, in a double former festival winner. Niall Murray's having a quick wipe. I'm not sure we're going to get a word with Niall. Can't see through the... Oh, we can hear. Listen. We've got the whistle, Niall. Good luck. So that means the cars are about to go out on track. Not much of a build-up from me. I apologise for that. Time ran out on us, but let's go back to the guys in the commentary box. Scott and Andy, over to you for the big race. We'll see you on the podium.
Yes, we will indeed. Who is going to be crowned the winner of the 50th anniversary Formula Ford Festival here at Brands Hatch? We'll know within the next 15 or 20 minutes or so. It is a 20-lap race then. The grand final here, sponsored by Clapham North. And we thank, of course, Clapham North, as well as all of our brilliant sponsors, actually, who have helped make this event possible for their involvement. And we hope that we'll see them again involved in the festival and indeed within the BRSCC in the future. The sun setting then on a weekend that has provided thrills and spills aplenty here at Brands Hatch, and it all boils down to this. Doesn't matter if you finish 6th or 12th or 20th in this race. It is only one position that matters. The winner of this race will have their name inscribed into the Neil Shanahan Memorial Trophy. Some of these drivers at the front of the grid, certainly the two on the front row, they've already got their names on there, but there are a whole host of other drivers who do not, and they would very much like to change that here over the course of the next 20 laps. Let's take another look, shall we, then, at the grid and how it lines up for this 20-lap grand final. It's Joey Foster on pole position with Niall Murray alongside, double festival champions, both of them. Then it's Ollie White and Neil McLennan making up row number 2. Thomas Mills and Jamie Sharp are on that third row of the grid, ahead of Michael Moyers in his first ever appearance at the festival, and Andre Castro likewise, fourth row of the grid. Row number 5 then, rounding out the top 10 for Jordan Dempsey and Ivan McCulloch. Then it's Jack Wolfenden and Chris Middlehurst, with Max Esterson and Jonathan Brown, the winner of this event 2 years ago, down on row number 7. Dennis Lind and Alan Davidson then are on the 8th row of the grid, and then row number 9 is Morgan Quinn and Ian Goff. David McCulloch and Logan Hanna round out the top 20 ahead of Matt Cowley and Robert Barrable. Matt Cowley one to watch definitely from 21st. Samuel Harrison and Jan Magnussen are together on row number 12, and then the 13th row is where we find the first of those that came through in the last chance race. Luke Cooper and Darwin Smith, Derek Palmer and Abdul Ahmed, with Jeremy Fairbairn and Matt Rivette. Right then, we've danced around the issue long enough now, Scott. Who is the winner of the 50th anniversary Formula Ford Festival?
A straight answer, I'll try. This is probably one of the hardest things I've had to predict in motorsport, I think, given the calibre of the field. I'm going to stick my neck out and prove the equivalent of just literally throwing a dart into a bit of paper and just hope we'll see what sticks. I am going to take a pick of... suspense. I'm going to take a shout at... do you know what? I'm going to take a pick at Thomas Mills. I think that Thomas, possibly being 5th on the grid, and as far as my knowledge that we put, I think he's the youngest driver on the grid. I think potentially he's got the pace if he can get himself around in the first couple of laps and get a good start. He's on that age where I think we predicted where if he does win it, he could potentially be the youngest ever festival winner. He's back in 5th, he's behind his teammate Neil McLennan. He's also got Michael Moyes a couple of positions back on the row behind him, so that could be a good pick. So now I've been nailed down. Murray and Foster look damn good, but I'm going to sit my neck out and say I'm going to throw it to Thomas Mills. I think is my pick. Go on, throw it back at you.
Well, do you know what? I'm going to have a punt on Ollie White here. Ollie White is due some festival success, I'd say. He knows this place very well. He's had the best festival I can remember him having, certainly over the last few years. He's been really quick, not actually won a race all weekend long, but he's made some good overtakes, some good starts, crucially as well, and he starts from 3rd on the grid, so he's right behind those top 2. If Murray and Foster become too preoccupied with each other, that could just open the door up for an Ollie White or a Neil McLennan or a Thomas Mills behind them. So, it's certainly not fair to assume that the winner will automatically come from the front row. This is Formula Ford 1600 racing after all, so overtaking is possible. If two drivers start getting into a heated battle, it could be others behind them that really benefit.
Yeah, and there's drivers here who have not just won the Festa multiple times. There's national champions. There's Walter Hayes Trophy winners on the grid here. There are drivers who have got the potential to win more races going forward in national Formula champions to come. There are racing legends that have won GT championships and raced in Grand Prix like Dennis and Jan Magnussen. The calibre of this grid is absolutely incredible. I'm a massive, almost nerves and goosebumps here. This is going to be incredible. I hope watching at home you settle and enjoy this, because we're about to see, I hope, something really special. We've had 49 Formula 4 festivals. We're about to complete the half century. Number 50 is upon us. Settle in. This, I hope, is going to be a belter.
The grand final of the Formula Ford Festival for 2021, the 50th anniversary edition of the Great Race, sponsored by Clapham North, is just a few moments away. Joey Foster, who first took a festival victory back in 2003, lines up on pole position. The revs start to rise for the final time this weekend. The red lights go on. They go out now. We're away and racing, and it's a good start made by all of the front row men, actually. Oliver White is away well, tries to get to the inside of Niall Murray, but can't quite do it. So it's Foster that holds on to the advantage. Murray second, White is there in third. Neil McLennan stays in fourth as well. So grid order for the front runners. They slide across that damp patch at the top of Paddock Hill Bend, and immediately Murray on the attack. Goes to the outside of Joey Foster through Druids. Can't quite do it yet. The temptation is there to make an early move, but this is a 20-lap race, Scott, and Niall Murray knows he can afford to be a little bit patient.
Yeah, but the crucial thing is, we talked about it before the race, Foster needs to get a move on car sliding out wide the back, and that's Morgan Quinn, one of the Team Dolan cars, but he'll get back on the circuit as quick as he can. But immediately the top two are there, side by side, and Murray's in the mix, but Foster's not going to give it up. He's up on the inside line. Murray goes round the outside, Foster throws it back up the inside. The two multiple festival champions are in the mix, side by side. Murray slides out wide already, ready to complete the first lap, and they're wheel to wheel. Foster in the lead, White is now second, wheel to wheel, banging wheels with Murray. Fourth for Victor McLennan, fifth for Mills, it's sixth now for Jamie Sharp. Crossed now one lap in the books, and it's a thriller already. Here we go.
And exactly as I said, Foster and Murray going at it has benefited Ollie White, who is through into second place. Then here comes McLennan peeking to the inside of Murray as well. It is Foster that leads. It's White in second, Murray down to third. McLennan looks to the outside as Thomas Mills looks to the inside of him, making their way through Druids. The two of them side by side, and I think that's Mills ahead now, is it? Yes, Mills into fourth, McLennan back to fifth, and Jamie Sharp is right behind him in sixth.
And Michael Moyes is in there too, with double Walter Hayes champion as McLennan runs out wide. He's side by side with Jamie Sharp. They're almost interlocking wheels. Last year's national champion with the Ancaster race winner from the national champion last year, but Oliver White is in the second place. He's a good, so basically our two picks are currently second and fourth, but in between the two multiple festival champions. But what a wheel to wheel battle that was. First lap of the grand final, and the two most successful men on the grid in terms of festival wins, five between them, if you count Rasmus Kemp in 2004, were wheel to wheel at Clearway, which is brilliant to see. Top four starting break with the Sharp in fifth position, McLennan sixth, Moyes seventh, McCulloch is eighth, Dempsey S in the middle, S around the top 10, Middlehurst down 11th place, and that's for Lyndon Magnussen. Lyndon's 15, Magnussen is outside the top 20.
Into Druids they go for the third time of asking then. Joey Foster trying to make a break here. Oliver White was, I thought, close enough to get a bit of a slipstream across the line, but seemed to fall away from the leader. Maybe his car is not quite as quick in a straight line, and that is not going to be good news for Niall Murray, because he's getting held up a little bit now by Oliver White. They're all concertinaing back together again as they head towards Surtees for the third time. Mills, fourth place in this race, by the way, set the fastest lap. As up the inside goes Niall Murray for second place. He tries to take it away from Oliver White. They so nearly bang wheels. There may have been a tiny bit of contact, but White, by the skin of his teeth, hangs on. This is playing beautifully into the hands of the race leader.
Yeah, Joe Foster must look at his doing, thinking, right, you keep lock battling. I'm going to go for it. Look at Thomas Mills going down the outside, possibly with third place into Paddock Hill Bend, but he's going to get the switch back on Niall Murray. Remember, Thomas Mills went wheel to wheel with Niall Murray, and the champion Brown face. Oh, there's contact. Round goes Ollie White into Niall Murray. And then Thomas Mills. All three of them are off the road. Mills is out of the final. So is White, and so is Thomas, and now is Niall Murray. Crucially, oh, that's a disappointment. But it's just that's so competitive at the front of the field, and three of the main favourites for the festival are out in the early stages.
The person I'm the most sorry for there is Thomas Mills. That was nothing to do with him. That was Murray and White crowding each other over to the inside of the road, and unfortunately, poor Thomas Mills, wrong place, wrong time, and fairly significant contact for both of them. Unsurprisingly, the safety car is coming out then, and that will bunch the whole field back together. What a shame that had to end that way. It was always on the cards though, because I think both of those drivers knew, both Ollie White and Niall Murray, that if they lost too much more ground to Joey Foster, they might never catch him again. The irony is, they were that busy trying to fight for second, that's actually exactly what they were doing, and they've now taken themselves completely out of contention. So the order at the end of 4 laps, Joey Foster leads, Jamie Sharp is second, Neil McLennan third ahead of Michael Moyes fourth, and fifth position then for number 271 Ivan McCulloch, who started 10th on the grid. Max Esterson, meanwhile, from 13th, he's up into 6th position. Jordan Dempsey is 7th, Andre Castro is 8th, 9th for Chris Middlehurst, and rounding out the top top 10 right now is Alan Davidson. Now, one of those that are coming from the back, Luke Cooper, remember I said started 25th. He's 19th at the moment. Where is Matt Cowley? He's only 21st, actually lost a couple of positions, including one to Cooper on that last lap. Dennis Lind is in 12th position. Jan Magnussen is in 17th place. And we've also lost, I believe, into the pit lane, number 47, Darwin Smith. There is Ollie White. Well, it was going quite well for him, but ultimately he didn't want to leave the door open for Niall Murray. Neither were willing to give way, and contact was fairly inevitable. Yeah,
but that's the risk that you take in a festival final. If you're going for it, you're not going to give an inch unless you really feel you have to. It's necessary. So, there were two drivers going for the same bit of track, and it just came at the wrong time in the early stages. And as you say, Thomas Mills was the innocent one in that, because he got tagged by Murray coming back across the circuit after the initial contact. So, yeah, Thomas Mills an innocent bystander, and so unfortunately the prospect of being the youngest ever festival winner goes by the wayside. A potential third festival win for Murray goes the way, as it also was a possible first win for Ollie White. What this does open the window for is, I think, possibly for Joey Foster, obviously could be in total, if you include his Kent victory in 2004, a fourth total festival victory. Jamie Sharp in second place.
Yeah.
Now, he has won a race this year, but that was in adverse conditions. But he's been saying all weekend the BM racing car is in really good shape, and he's a proper young charger. And if he's in the mix to possibly do this, of course, this would be a great way for him to if he chooses to carry on in Formula 4s next year, if it is his last weekend in Formula 4s, a great way to kind of help cap that a little bit with his first win. He's been competitive and national champion all year, and if he can do that, it'd be great. Neil McLennan wants redemption for last year when he was battling at the front and slid off the road at Paddock Hill Bend and couldn't do it. Michael Moyes in fourth would be a story as well. P4, the perennial Walter Hayes Trophy racer, two-time winner of that event, first time in the festival, and up to fourth already. Ivan McCulloch proving he's still got what it takes to Formula 4. Double Kent Festival winner. Max Esterson, who's had a couple of free race wins as well. Jordan Dempsey's in there too. Castro's impressing me in eighth right now, and Middlehurst and Davis are back together again after their antics yesterday as well.
I know, yeah, it's still none the wiser really as to how this is going to work out, but what a brilliant battle we had there whilst it lasted. Jamie Sharp, of course, flying the flag for BM as well now, isn't he, really? Because Rory Smith, the champion last year for that team, as we've documented, not in the final. So for Jamie Sharp, the hopes of his entire team really resting on his shoulders. He's got those two Kevin Mills Spectrums right behind him. And a big shout out to McCulloch there in fifth position. For Ivan McCulloch, 10th on the grid he started. He's gained 5, and the 2000 spec Van Diemen, I mean, it's by far and away the oldest car inside the top half dozen or so. Same age actually as Jordan Dempsey's car in 7th, and yeah.
Well, you say that, Alan Davidson's car's up there in 10th.
Well, it is, yes. but I'm no longer surprised at that, because he's just always on the pace, isn't he? How he does that, we kind of put that down to the wet earlier on, didn't we? But clearly in the dry, it's still very rapid.
I remember there was one weekend where one of his local circuits is Kirkistown, and there's been a few years in the past when the national championship has gone to Kirkistown's out there, kind of away round some cases in Northern Ireland. Brilliant little circuit, fantastic Kirkistown. If anyone's watching who is regular at Kirkistown and from Kirkistown circuits watching, shout at too, because you've got a brilliant little circuit. And a couple of times there when he's entered, Alan Davidson will get in there, and he will, and he does get amongst the national runners, has no regard at all, in the best way possible for any championship contenders or any points or so. He just gets there and goes, right, I'm going to race and prove myself against some of the best guys out there. If you want to come with me in battle, that's all well and good, but regardless if I feel I'm getting in the way or not, I'm going to enjoy myself with this race. And him coming back to festival year on year, having won the historic final 3 times and being up there 10th overall in arguably one of the oldest cars in the field, is just testament to the fact that he's such a good driver in that car, and he's so well matched.
No, he really is. Look, that looks beautiful, doesn't it? That with the low setting sun at Paddock Hill Bend. Fear that the person operating that camera might not actually be able to see what they're filming, but what they're filming is very pretty, so keep doing it as the field streams through them right down to the very back of the field. The last car still running then is Jeremy Fairbairn, actually, who's behind that man there, Matt Rivette, who was the historic festival champion a little bit earlier on today. So the slightly extended recovery operation ongoing up at Druids. There were 3 cars after all to be recovered, and many of them fairly badly damaged. You can see the cars actually having to stop as they head up still a slightly damp Halewood Hill in order to filter through all of the recovery vehicles. We will get some racing in though, I'm convinced of that. We're still only on lap number 7 of 20, not even halfway through then, and Joey Foster is the race leader with Jamie Sharp in second place. Now, when we get a restart here, Jamie is going to have to be on his toes, because a bit like we said about Niall Murray versus Joey Foster at the initial start, if you let a driver of that calibre get into the rhythm, get their head down and pull away, you're probably not going to catch them again. So Jamie Sharp needs to be on his toes here when we get to a race restart, to try and apply the pressure to Joey Foster and find a way through if he can early doors. Of course, if that attack doesn't quite work, then Neil McLennan is there waiting to pick up the pieces. So I think we could be in for a pretty interesting restart as and when it happens.
Yeah, I reckon given the fact that we've got one of the low loaders coming back into position now, I think possibly maybe roughly, I'd say hopefully not this time but next time where we can get things going again, because we'll be at the end of lap 8. So that'll be 12 laps to the side who comes out on top of this. All the recovery trucks and vehicles are starting to move now. There's Niall Murray's car, and it's unfortunate, but of course Murray, if he wants to get himself a third festival victory in, well, at the moment at least, if he doesn't make it 4, emulate Joey Foster's number, he has to come back again next year and try and see if he can do that once more. Even if it's only his one race of the year that he competes in, along with either Walter Hayes and anything else. I know Murray always enjoys coming to the festival, and he's always a dapper in the Formula Ford. You never rule up Niall Murray in the Formula Ford, and so he's been mega all weekend. It's an unfortunate end to his festival, but again, I hate to use the phrase, this typical phrase, but that's motor racing. That happens, and so he'll have to come back next year if he wants to make it his third festival victory of his career.
Yeah, what impresses me actually about Niall is that, as you said, he's not necessarily a regular on the national scene, and yet he comes in for these end-of-season events and is immediately on the pace. I mean, sometimes if you take a year out, then you try and go up against those that have been doing it all season and are at the top of their game, that can be very difficult to do, but Niall does seem able to do that. Joey Foster, however, does tend to race on the national scene, and so therefore it's a bit less of a surprise maybe to see him on the pace here when it gets to festival time. Now, we were hoping for a restart this time. I can still see one set of flashing light, although they've just switched off actually up at Druitt, and the lights are off now on the runyourfleet.com safety car. So here we go then, the end of lap number 8. We're about a third of the way through the final, and we are ready to go once more with Joey Foster the race leader and Jamie Sharp in second place. Jamie needs to stay with him, needs to stay latched on the gearbox of the car in front, which he is doing for the time being, but then Foster hasn't yet accelerated up to full speed. He's leaving it relatively late. They turn in towards Clearway's corner, and now he goes, but Jamie Sharp goes with him, close enough definitely to get a slipstream, and in fact might even be close enough to have a bit of a go here into Paddock Hill Bend. So green flags wave once again, and the 50th anniversary Formula Ford Festival final is back underway. Jamie Sharp closing on the race leader. He goes to the outside line. Is he going to try the high, wide and handsome line at Paddock Hill Bend? He does, but it's wet out there. He gets sideways, so does McLennan in third, so does Esterson in 6th place, and in the end that all helps Joey Foster to hold on to the lead. Bit of dirt on the road at Druitt. Esterson there to the inside, to the outside. Well, that's Jordan Dempsey trying to get up the inside line, isn't it? Esterson's ahead of McCulloch, is he not now? So Max Esterson, I think, has broken into the top 5. Joey Foster, so far so good, hanging on to the lead.
Yeah, and I think Sharp now, he's got the taste of the restart. I think if you can go with him, genuinely, Jamie Sharp's got a really good chance of winning this, of course, as does Neil McLennan. So I think if Sharp's going to do this and try and get some redemption from Roy Smith running out, here comes up the inside Chris Middlehurst on Max Esterson. We've seen that plenty. That's Andre Castro up the inside, so past the Team USA guy he goes. For the Team USA guys at the moment, Castro 8th, and as for Esterson up in 6th. Not too bad for Team USA guys. Here he goes again to the outside line, but couldn't do it. Foster defends the inside once more, back into Paddock Hill Bend, and McLennan's closing in. They're sliding a little bit in typical Formula Ford fashion, might be a little bit of dirt down there. Alan Davidson runs out wide again. He's done that once before. They're 3 abreast on the exit. That was with Brown and Dennis Lynn, so those 3 are going 3 abreast up towards Druitt. It's tell at the festival final, can't you?
Joey Foster cannot escape here, can he? The trouble that Jamie Sharp is having is that there's only one line through paddock because it's so wet. Matt Cowley is out, and that is
1-2-1. That's Robert Barrable.
It is, yeah. So Matt Cowley's festival to forget really has ended in tears, and they're both stuck in the same part of the circuit that we've just had a recovery operation up at the top of Halewood Hill. They're both okay, that's the main thing, but those cars are going to need to be moved.
McLennan.
That was McLennan, yes.
No. So Moyers off. Sorry,
Michael Moyers off up at Clearways, and Joey Foster.
Whoa.
Joey Foster slow from the race lead, so Jamie Sharp has got the lead away. Neil McLennan is there in second place. What on earth has happened up at Clearways corner? Joey Foster comes across the start-finish line way down the order in 9th.
And McCulloch went wide, and I think Miller's tried to go up the inside, but realised yellow flags there, so he couldn't do it. So they're 3 abreast. Is that a bit of bodywork? Yes, I think we're trying to work out what we're saying. McLennan's hit the back of Sharp sideways at Graham Hill Bend. McLennan is second place with a hole on his nose. Look at Max Esterson. Apart from the Kent Fest 2008, a Team USA Sculpture driver has never won the main festival. He's in 3rd place place, in with a shout here potentially, sliding all over the road. We're up to the half distance, all sorts going on. What a final this is.
Esterson started 13th on the grid for this final. He is in a podium place, and the top two cars, I reckon, may have damage. Certainly McLennan does. What of Jamie Sharp, though? He leads the way. McLennan second, and Esterson goes to the outside, sells the dummy, switches to the inside. He can't quite get to the inside of Neil McLennan, who hangs on to P2. McLennan is quick through paddock. There are yellow flags heading up the hill. They're going to cover this, I think, under yellows, at least for a lap or so, although I can't see any yellows there, actually. So full racing conditions up towards Druids Corner. Jamie Sharp leads, McLennan second, Esterson third, and Chris Middlehurst is coming. He is in fourth place and catching the leading three.
Michael Moyes in the pit lane. I've heard the pit lane siren go. Sadly, Michael Moyes, his chance for festival victory on his first go is done. And actually, you say Chris Middlehurst, you're absolutely right, in fourth place. Rest of the field, Ivan McCulloch fifth, Dempsey sixth, Castro seventh, but it's Jonathan Brown Foster still ninth, and Dennis Lind is 10th. So what a festival he's having us to get in the top 10 as well. And the action still ain't over by a long shot.
The one thing I will say with confidence is that we should get a brand new winner, because the top 7 in this race have never won the Formula Ford Festival before. Up to Paddock Hill Bend they go. The challenge is on once again. Still Jamie Sharp holds on to the lead. Neil McLennan attacking and defending at the same time, but the race leader runs out wide. McLennan's up the inside line. There's another squeeze. 2 wheels on the grass. Through the leaves he goes. Under yellow flags, though, Neil McLennan has taken the race lead. There was a yellow flag. Middlehurst up the inside of Esterson as well, but that surely was under yellow flags. He has to give that back.
He surely has to. If he didn't spot that, he's going to have to. And BM Racing will argue that's the cars coming. Yeah, I think he's moving aside at possible. He's going defensive. He's got to work out how to let Sharp through if he's got to let him through. Otherwise, he will get a penalty for that, because there's contact. I think that Sharp bit a tit for tat. Hit me at the back, Willie. You can have it back this time. There are now at the top 4, 5, 6 cars to lead. 7 cars to lead. The top 7 altogether. I think it looks like McLennan was a little bit loose on the exit. The course now, Jamie Sharp is tucked under his gearbox. Middlehurst, Esterson, and Dempsey in there as well. Top 5 altogether. Top 5 covered by 0.4 of a second. What a final this is turning out to be.
And we are only on the 14th lap of 20. We've still got a third of this race to go. It is Neil McLennan that leads. There is the yellow flag, though. He may not have seen it because he was on the grass at the time, but the point still stands. You cannot overtake under even a single waved yellow. We shall wait and see what comes of that. It may matter little, though, if Jamie Sharp can get back ahead of him on track. It's clear that McLennan is not going to give the place back. If he was going to, he would have done already by now. Down the Cooper Straight they go. Looked like Sharp was going to the outside, but then backed out of it. Through Surtees they go. McLennan, Sharp, Middlehurst, Esterson, Dempsey, Castro, McCulloch, all in a long line, nose to tail for the final victory here of the Formula Ford Festival.
If this ain't an advert to young drivers to do Formula Ford, I don't know what is. Top 7 altogether in what arguably the biggest Formula Ford Fest race of the year. This is incredible stuff. Tucked under the gearbox, all 7 together down the pit straight, back towards Paddock Hill Bend. Looking to the wide line, Jordan Dempsey in P5, not too far behind Esterson. Middlehurst, the national champions, in there. They're all sliding around, squaring for tractions down to the inside. McLennan defends, looking for the outside line up towards Druids. Now up the inside, let's try and make it to 5th position to make it 2 of the Team USA cars in the top 5. Goes Andre Castro, and he's got the job done. He's through. Joey Shaw must be pleased. Now if Sharp can get through, it'll kind of gate him to let him through again, although maybe McLennan might get a penalty. He starts the corner, he's going to be side by side. Here comes Middlehurst, here comes Esterson. They're practically 2 by 2 into Surtees, and there's still 5 laps to go.
Jamie Sharp through the outside at Surtees, tries to get the inside at Clearways, but he couldn't quite get there. The trouble for Sharp here is that to overtake McLennan, he has to go offline, and Chris Middlehurst will hesitate not even for a fraction of a second in filling that gap if he does so. Across the line we go then. There are 5 laps to go in the Formula Ford Festival final, and there is bump drafting going on. Diving to the inside, that's Esterson.
What a move.
That's Esterson on the inside of Chris Middlehurst, goes third. Sharp is sideways in second. Middlehurst is out wide. He's out of it now, surely. Chris Middlehurst dropping down the order. It is McLennan that leads. It's Sharp second, and it is Max Esterson with the move of the weekend into third.
Fantastic stuff. I don't want this race to end. It's incredible stuff. Now Dempsey also got past Middlehurst, but again, that looked like it was in a yellow flag zone, so he might get in trouble for that as well. So we'll have to wait and see. It might be the clerk of the course decision, but there is still 4 laps to go, and it's that close to. This is a better finish than we can ever imagine. Top 7 are all together, and there's still cars coming behind him. 8th place, we've got Jonathan Brown Foster in there. Dennis Lind is still 10th. McCulloch and them. Jan Magnussen's up to 13th as well. What an incredible race this is.
Across the line we go then. There will be 4 more laps remaining. Neil McLennan cannot escape. He's got that damage to the nose as well. But Jamie Sharp has tried everything. He's tried Paddock Hill Bend. He's tried Druids. He's tried Clearways. He cannot get up alongside, but maybe now he can, because McLennan runs wide. The yellow flag, though, we think is still there on the left of Sharp. Can't quite see it.
No,
it's gone. It's gone. So there is green flag racing coming out of Paddock Hill Bend, and that could be absolutely critical. It didn't work for Sharp that time. He is clearly the quicker of the two. He just just can't find a way through. A brilliant defensive drive this from McLennan.
I'm staggered. I couldn't believe it. Oh, there's some battle going on. What we've seen. Oh no, side by side. It's 3 abreast of the run up towards 30. Sharp's up the inside. He's done it. He's up into the lead. Jamie Sharp takes the lead at the Formula Ford Festival at Brands Hatch. He's into the lead now as they go on to the last 3 laps of the race. The 2 Team USA cars are 3rd and 4th. Esther, Castro, Dempsey, Midler, Cinder, McCullough and Brandon Foster all in there. Top 9 all together, and all of them could still win. There's 2 laps to go, 3 laps to go on this one. Who on earth is going to win it? We just don't know.
Now, can Sharp pull away? The answer appears to be no. Even with that damage, McLennan staying with him in a slipstream. That was Castro around the outside, Dempsey on the inside. He's sideways, so Middlehurst tries to get back up the inside of him. Only a lap or so ago we thought Middlehurst could win this, and now he's battling to get back into the top 5. Through Druids they go. I don't actually think he's going to clear Dempsey, as he know Dempsey hangs on to 5th place, and Jamie Sharp for BM Racing holds on to the lead of the race out of Graham Hill Bend, and dare I say it, he's building a little bit of a gap now.
Also look behind them, Dennis Lind and the 11th place car, which is David McCullough, is the 11th place. We're going to get a top 11 nose to tail by the end of it towards the flag. There goes Essen having a look up the inside of McLennan now for 2nd place. Castro's his rear gunner in 4th position in there too, as well as Dempsey. 2 laps to go. Foster is in there just behind in 8th position. Jonathan Brown. McCulloch's in there in 7th place. Crossed the line. 2.4 miles left of the Formula Ford Festival for 2021. And again, there is still absolutely no guarantee which of these drivers is going to do it.
McLennan is so good through clearways, really closed back in on Sharp at the end of that lap. He goes to the outside at Druids this time because he's got a car length or so in hand over Esterson. That vanishes though in the shape of one braking point. He gets a good run out of Druids, tries to pull alongside on the drop down towards Graham Hill Bend. He can't quite get him there. Esterson almost into the back of him in 3rd place. 1.5 laps to go here in the grand final of the 50th Formula Ford Festival, sponsored by Clapham North. They turn through Surtees then. As they come out of clearways, it will be the last chance to get in that slipstream and try and make a move into Paddock Hill Bend. I'm sure one of these drivers will try it. Will it be McLennan in 2nd place? He is closer than ever to Jamie Sharp as they come out through Clark Curve. Sharp will have no choice but to defend the inside line. That will give McLennan no choice but to go onto that wet and slippery outside line. But it is now or never. 1 lap to go in the festival. They all in the end go for the tighter inside line, all trying to hold position as they make their way towards Druids. Then inside line for Sharp. Where does McLennan go? He stays in line. There's a car in the gravel further back.
David
McCullough. Okay, the Americans are side by side. That's Castro trying to go to the outside of Max Esterson, but there is now just over half a lap standing between Jamie Sharp and a historic first ever victory in the Formula Ford Festival. Bit wide through Graham Hill Bend, just about manages to gather it together. There's another car in the gravel at Paddock. That doesn't really matter though. The leaders head towards clearways. Last chance saloon now for Neil McLennan. Can he get up the inside line? The answer is no. He's almost into the back of Jamie Sharp. It's going to be a drag race run to the line. The slipstream is powerful here, but I don't think there's quite enough time. Jamie Sharp will take his first ever victory in the Formula Ford Festival in the 50th anniversary event. The checkered flag is waved and the victory goes to Jamie Sharp. Neil McLennan in 2nd, Max Esterson in 3rd, 4th place Jordan Dempsey, and 5th for Andre Castro. The top 5 drivers covered by half a second.
There goes Ronnie Grant waving the checkered flag, and what a moment to do it. 3 words. What a final. Goodness me. If you're in chat, give us some clap emojis in that one. If you're at the circuit watching, give these guys a round of applause. What an absolutely staggering final. Out of all the times I've watched the Formula Ford Festival the last 7 years since I've been at the BRSCC, that by far is the best, and that was a perfect ode to Formula Ford, the festival, and the way to celebrate 50 years. And Brian, if you're up there watching that, I hope that was a fitting final to celebrate his memory as well. And again, I say, if you're a young driver, if you want someone to go to race for racing that good and that close, come to Formula Ford, because that was a perfect advert as to how in a big race like that, it can be that close. To give you a quick rundown, the top, this was from 1st to 10th, was covered at the flag by 2.3 seconds. I've never known the top 10 in the festival to be that close and that competitive. But Jamie Sharp will be delighted with that. He was overjoyed when he won his first National Formula Hall race at Anglesey. I can't tell what the emotion is going to be like. It's going to be absolutely boiling over for him as well. Neil McLennan, 2nd place, he will desperately wanted to win, but it makes up for the fact that he missed out last year. And I tell you what, Jeremy Shaw, we made up. 3rd place for Max Essen, Team USA driver, the man who was 3rd in the National Championship. What a podium, what a race, what a final, what a festival.
We really couldn't have scripted it. I mean, it's what we were hoping for all weekend. We've given it such a great build-up. You know, all of these returning drivers, all of these really quick potential winners. The heats were entertaining. The semi-finals were certainly not short on drama. But with the dry weather, it just allowed us to have that proper Formula Ford slipstreaming race for the final, and that's exactly what we were hoping would happen. You're never guaranteed it. The safety car early on did sort of threaten to take the sting out of the race a little bit. That didn't happen, though. I would love to know what happened to Joey Foster, because he was in the lead, and honestly, you'd have been daft to bet against him at that point, I'd have thought, because he was out in clean air. We know how good he is in that situation. Whether it was a mistake, whether he was given some assistance, we do not know, but that mistake blew the door wide open and gave us one of the best finals in history. Fantastic.
Yeah, I think that's not an understatement. One of the best finals of the modern Formula Ford era, and genuinely one of the best Formula Ford festivals, I would actually say, of all time. You know, we had the special 50 years to festival book, and that had a list from Alan Bowles, I think it was Darren Banks, and they picked the top 10 finals in no particular order. I gotta say, they put last year's in there. This year, to do another top 10, that's going to go somewhere near the top, because that was an unbelievable scrap at the front. And the fact that we had, again, I say it again, the top 10 covered by 2.3 seconds was just staggering. I think we need very quickly just to run through exactly who finished where then, so if I'm happy to run through it. So Jamie Sharp then picks up the win at the 50th Formula Ford Festival in incredible fashion. Second place for Neil McLennan, so that is Kevin Mills taking that runners-up spot. Max Esterson will be, and Andre Castro would have done Jeremy Shaw incredibly proud with third and fourth for the Team USA scholarship. Fifth goes to Jordan Dempsey. Sixth of a national champion, Chris Middlehurst. He couldn't match his national victory with a victory in the final. Seventh place for Ivan McCulloch, of course, has had a fantastic run, as did his brother David as well. It's then 8th place for Joey Foster. Again, was that leader for so long, but made that mistake. They just lost in the final. Jonathan Brown was a bit anonymous in that final in many cases, but again, no respect to him. That was just the calibre of the pack that we had in the mix. 10th place for Dennis Lind. He'll be delighted with that, I'm sure. A top 10 finish with his return to the final. 11th place goes to David McCulloch. Jan Magnussen finishes 12th on his festival comeback. If I was Jan, that'd give me motivation to come back and do more of that, I think, hopefully. 13th place, Luke Cooper towards, 25th on the grid. Great drive from 25th to 13th, 14th for Morgan Quinn, 50th for Samuel Harrison. Then Davison, Ahmed, Palmer, Rivette, Hannah, Goff, Fairbairn, Wolford and Moyes, and the rest. Unbelievable stuff. Thank you to everyone that's made it such a special final, and I think we can have a chat with our sponsor of the festival final.
Yes, because down there where all of the action is about to be is Richard John Neal. Richard, you've seen an awful lot of Formula Ford Festival finals. That one, I'm pretty sure, has got to be right up there, hasn't it?
Yeah, Andy, thanks very much. We're live to the venue as well, and I've got our sponsor with us, George Grant from Clapham North MOT. First of all, George, thank you so much for helping us with this event and being our backer for it. What a weekend.
Well, it's just been fantastic. I mean, look at the cars. I mean, the weather, thank goodness, is held out. And Clapham North, those awfully nice people at Clapham North have done us proud. And it's great to be here with you, John.
Well, thank you very much for coming along. You can do the honours with the president. And Dad's here as well.
Yeah, Dad's
how was that?
Oh, beautiful, wasn't it? Really nice.
He's 96.75 years old.
Fantastic to be so precise. We want to enjoy it, and thank you again for backing it. And we look forward to seeing you do the presentations. Jamie Sharp taking the plaudits there. We've got a good order. The team from the BRSCC, as well as organising a fantastic event, have got the running order for us for the presentations. Jamie Sharp, absolutely delighted. Rightly, we'll get some pictures of Jamie and the emotion. What a race. And as you said in the live stream feed, I've seen a few festivals, not as many as everybody here, but what an incredible weekend and what an incredible final we've seen. It was going to go down very much as one of the classic finals that we've had for the Formula Ford Festival. Super driving by Neil McLennan as well to come up to second. I'll be honest with you, I actually wrote down the result about 3 times because it kept changing. Absolutely amazing finish. Max Esterson comes through as well. Let's see if we can grab a quick... Jamie, you got your crash helmet off. Let me be the first to get the uncrash helmeted Jamie Sharp, the winner. Many congratulations. What are your feelings?
Don't really know what to say. I wasn't expecting a race like that. I thought it was going to be quite... Well, I did not expect a clean race, but yeah, that was a lot more hectic than I expected. After that safety car, I thought we were pretty much just going to be in a line all the way to the finish, but yeah, Joy made that mistake, and that just put me in such a great position for winning it. So yeah, made a few mistakes along the way, but got on back in the end. So yeah, no complaints at all.
You probably don't know just yet, but that was one of the classic festival finals that we've just seen, and the way you came through the heat, the semi-final, absolutely superb. You're going to have to watch it back to get that. I've known many of the drivers, obviously. His dad is. Come on, Dad. Come on. Come on, Dad as well. I was lucky enough to know the team.
Jamie.
Yep. Lucky to know the team from the MSA Formula 4 days as well. So great to see Jamie's progression.
Come on.
Are we going to get a word with Dad as well? Quick word with Dad, because this is a family. It's a family sport, and you know, when Jamie was with us on the Toka package, I for one, you know, would have paid a lot of money to come. Mate, what's it like for Dad? Come on.
Unbelievable. I can't even put words. We were on the grandstand and it's like just hearts going 100 miles an hour. Honestly, he deserves everything. He works so hard. Team are brilliant. He's fantastic. I'm so proud. So proud. Couldn't be more pleased. Come on. Come on.
I hope you got a big truck to take something home, because you got a lot of stuff to take home. Jamie Sharp, winner, Roger Pedrick Trophy. The Neil Shanahan Trophy as well for the festival. Yep, we're going to let you get your thoughts back a little bit more, okay? And you'll have even more when you watch the race back, for sure. But some terrific racing out there. Anything to say about the guys you're up against?
It's been a great grid this year. I mean, everybody's been on point all weekend. I mean, I was hoping it'd be wet for this race because we've been obviously dominated it a bit in the wet. But yeah, they've all been amazing. Great racing. It's been close. It's been a bit hectic in points, but it's always been as clean as it can be. So yeah, it's been awesome.
Well done, mate.